The Living Tombstone. The Living Tombstone is quite popular on the internet, and most people have probably heard a song of theirs at some point. They make music based on video games, media, memes, and now they even make original music based on mental health and life experiences and so on and so forth. They are by far my favorite band of all time. It's basically all I listen to. I listen to nothing else at this point. It's just only that. So I wanted to make like a top 10 of my favorite songs because I kind of don't know which songs are my favorites, so I thought it was a good idea to just make a video about it. And I haven't made a video like this in a long time, and I thought it was time for me to finally make one, I guess. Okay, so I have a couple rules. Well, I have one rule. And that rule is that I'm only allowed to pick 3 songs from the album 01, because otherwise this whole list would just be the album, and that's boring, and I want more variety, so only 3 songs. I love every single song on the album, but they'll be in the honorable mention. And before I start, I also just want to get 2 songs out of the way, which is the first Five Nights at Freddy's song and the Discord remix. These are absolute classics on the internet and have made a huge impact on a lot of people and a lot of fandoms and just the internet in general. But they're not really songs I listen to. I don't really put them on that much. So I want to acknowledge them, but they're not going to be on the list. So a couple years ago, in 2015, Yoav started this weird concept called red versus blue. I personally love this concept, but I understand why it stopped, because it must have been very stressful to make 2 songs at once about the same topic. And that really doesn't sound fun to make, actually. It's more of a concept that's fun. But the first one was the Dog of Wisdom remix. And while the blue one is really good, my favorite one is the red one. This remix is so weird, and it really captured what this whole concept was supposed to be about. It's such a just mindfuck of colors and noises, and I love it. It's just my cup of tea. The beats are just so unique, and they go insanely hard and just sound great. And the part of the dog just playing a guitar is just the best thing I've probably ever seen. It's generally just a really fun track. I don't have much to say about it because it's just a bunch of dogs singing and then a bunch of chaos that's just unfolding. A really great listen, and I listen to it all the time, but I have nothing else to say about it because I don't really know what to say about this. What I love with the Living Tombstone is when they make something new and unique, when they try something that they haven't really done before. But the thing I also love is the familiarity of their songs. That classic catchy rhythm, the great beat, the insane production value, and just the intrigue that comes with a lot of the lyrics and the song itself. And one of the songs that I love listening to is A Doll's House.
Remember when you're young, you...
A Doll's House is so just far left from everything else that's really on the Living Tombstone's channel, apart from maybe Memory and the old ass, that donkey from My Little Pony. That was like a song about that. I don't remember it. When I first heard this song, it wasn't like I was in love with it, but after really listening to it like a lot, I can say that I really love it, especially after having played the demo for the game that it's based on, Inside Mind, which is really, really good. So actually having the context of the character and the narrative and then listening to the song makes it a lot better than just listening to it on its own.
I trusted, let you in, let you see through my broken skin.
Like, I think what really put me Yoav was the lyrics at the beginning, I didn't really understand them, so they seem kinda not poorly written, but not that good. But I mean, when you have the context, they make perfect sense and they're quite good. And I really like this song, and I listen to it more than I probably would have any other song that's like this. I just love that even though it's so different, it just has that charm still. It just has that feeling, that just listenability. It's just a really good listen, and I love how it progresses. Like, it's really slow in the beginning, and then when the second verse comes around and the bridge, it gets a lot more intense, but not like, oh, the beat is super hard, but like, it's just, you know, the choir comes in and the drums start being more bassy, and it's just, it's great. It's fantastic. I love this song a lot.
Look away, I'm screaming when the world came crashing down on me.
So what the Living Tombstone does really well is make really great songs about some serious topics. They can have songs about alcohol addiction, depression, anxiety, whatever, you name it. But sometimes it's fun to just kinda have this.
See the goose is coming, you hear the honking, you start running, white and yellow birdie, it's gonna fuck you like it hurt.
Goose Goose Revolution is just the weirdest song, and I fell in love with it instantly. It's just a great listen. It doesn't really make any sense. I mean, it's basically just a shitpost. It's the Joker, but with geese. And then rock music.
Ever endeavor to be a little better, a ganter, offender, I'll offer no surrender.
This song just doesn't get old. I love the middle part too. It just sounds like a murder mystery song all of a sudden. And the visuals by Andrew Dumick are so good. I love the music video that this has. It was the return of the Living Tombstone after having been gone for so long, and it was just such a great return. Just coming back with this clusterfuck of a song, and it was just a fun song to just get in the middle of all the loneliness and the emptiness that 2020 really left us. So, when it comes to the blue versus the red songs, they often just feel very, very different while not really complementing each other. I love the concept and I love them, but they often feel very disconnected, the two versions. They often just feel like completely different songs that have nothing to do with each other. Apart from, like, maybe Basic in Behavior isn't like that a lot. Basics in Behavior is very weird. I like actually that concept. That song isn't on the list, but I really like it, especially the red version. Another song that really shows off what you can actually do with this concept is Pikachu's Lament.
He walks the night. He does not care if it's wrong or right. He feels alright.
The blue version is really good. I like it, but it's not my cup of tea. What I do love is the red version. The red version is just, it goes from being like a reggae kind of song to just an 80s vaporwave song. It's the weirdest transition, but it works really, really well. Vyletpony is on this track helping with the production, and she does great as always. It's just a fun track to listen to. I feel like this almost works better with the lyrics, because the lyrics are just so nonsensical. And the reggae, the reggae made it more comedic, but this just actually sounds good. Again, I like the blue version, but I prefer this one by far.
Don't kill no Pokemon today. Don't kill no Pokemon today.
I love the bridge that just completely changed it up for like just 10 seconds with the weird, more heartbeat. But then it just goes back to the vaporwave. The animation by Coda is also just so fun, and it's so weird. Seeing Pikachu killing Charizard though is kinda traumatizing. I don't really know what to say about this song other than I just love it a lot. It's just a super good song. It's super catchy, it's funny, and it has a cool animation to go with it. So that's pretty cool.
You don't wanna be the nest. Get busy in this smoky day snow. You don't have to catch them. You don't have to catch them.
For number 6, we now finally get into the album. This album means a lot to me. I listen to it every single day ever since it was released back in September, which is way too long to listen to one album. I should probably stop. So when I listen to the album, I often just put it on random. I don't really listen to it in order anymore. I did in the beginning, but one song that I always just hope comes first when I randomize it is this song. This song is amazing. It's such a unique take on the Living Tombstones formula. I love how it goes from the verse to the chorus. That's so different. Well, it's only really the vocals that are different because the instrumental keeps sounding the same, and that's why I think it works so well. And also just the bridge in this is mind-blowingly good. Orko on the guitar. Mwah. I love the topic that this song is actually handling, because it's not usually a topic that you hear talked about, but toxic work behavior and overworking yourself and doing stuff you don't want to do and just destroying yourself from work. I think it's a good thing to bring out in this world, and it's just a catchy song. It goes hard and it's great. I love it. So for number 5, we have the only Five Nights at Freddy's song on this list. Don't get me wrong, I love the Five Nights at Freddy's songs. They're the only Five Nights at Freddy's songs on YouTube that I like. I usually don't really like Five Nights at Freddy's songs because of the topic that it's about, but the Living Tombstone does a good job of actually making them stand out as songs, so they're not just about Five Nights at Freddy's, they're actually about a topic on its own, and no other song does it better than this song. I Got No Time can be listened to completely without knowing that it's about Five Nights at Freddy's. Like, if you just heard this song and you didn't know what it was about, you would never guess that it was a Five Nights at Freddy's song. It's basically kind of a cry for help almost, but it's like Yoav singing about how he just doesn't want to be forced into doing all these things. I feel like as a content creator and a musician, that's probably something that a lot of people go through. It's also just so enjoyable. I love the instrumental that just slowly builds up and then just goes crazy with a drop. It's great, and I love the vocals. The vocals are a little hard to understand. I mean, they're very electronic-y and robot-y. They sound kind of hard to understand. But overall, I mean, once you listen to it a couple times and if you read the lyrics, you can perfectly understand what he's saying. It's definitely my favorite Five Nights at Freddy's songs on YouTube, and it's on this list because of that. I like it a lot. So when they first started talking about the album, they obviously needed a really good first single to put out to really make a statement that this is going to be a great album. And they chose the right song. They chose a song that's so catchy and so well made that it is just mesmerizing, and it's of course Drunk.
Feel so much better than usual. I feel indisputable.
Drunk is just so much fun to listen to, which is incredibly ironic considering it's about alcohol addiction and about how it destroys your life. It's literally not supposed to be fun, but it is. It's so much fun. And I think that's what makes it great. It stands out from other songs about alcohol. It's not just that depressing and just dreary song. It's actually really fun to listen to. It makes you feel like someone who is drunk, just having the time of their lives while really destroying themselves.
Bottle of scotch, served on the rocks with a shot of cachaça, vodka sake, kamikaze with the handle of sherry, a cherry brandy with a Jaeger chaser, champagne float, a bourbon hot toddy and a teacup of throat coat.
And also, the chorus is so good, and I love how the chorus actually starts off pretty short, just a couple lines, and then it gets longer and longer and builds up. Like, the lyrics are just so genius. The way that it skips saying 7 drinks, because, you know, 7 drinks wouldn't sound that good when you're singing it, but it also just, you know, feeds into this whole idea that he's like forgetting how much he has gotten to drink. It's genius, and I love it. It's a great song. However, the thing is, this song could easily be interchanged with the second song on the list, which I know is weird because it's the 4th song. The 3rd song, I'm pretty sure that's my 3rd one. I know that's my 3rd one. But this one, it kind of goes back and forth whether I prefer this one or the one that's gonna be a number 2. You'll see later.
Don't wake me up from this spell I'm under if I'm still breathing.
So, the Living Tombstone, you know, when they make a song, you often know a little bit what it's going to be like. It's very, you know, it feels very familiar often. It's not that it's just the same song, but it just has the same kind of idea going for it, the way that it's handled and produced. But there's one song that just doesn't do that. There's one song that's so unique and so different, and it's just unlike anything I probably ever heard. At first, when I heard this song, I hated it. I thought it was awful, and I only listened to it once, and then I was like, nope. And I just never listened to it again until a few months after, where I was hospitalized and diagnosed with schizophrenia. So I just tried listening to it again, and I just fell in love with it. And it was also the moment that I just fell in love with the Living Tombstone and became a massive fan. And the song that I'm talking about is this one. This song is so just out of left field. You hear the blue version, that's just a regular happy-go-lucky song, and then you listen to this and it's a total clusterfuck. But it's so uniquely clusterfucky. I love this song, it's so catchy. I don't know what, because it doesn't really have a melody or a rhythm, but it still has like a chorus and a verse and a bridge, and that's what makes it genius. Like, it sounds like it's just noise, but it's still set up like a real song. A lot of people hated this, as I did, and I feel like that's a reason we're probably never going to have a song like this ever again from the Living Tombstone. In a way, I'm kind of happy about it, because it's this weird anomaly that just is its completely own thing, and I'm kind of happy about that. But I also really want to hear something like this again, because it's so unique and so different. But that probably won't happen. So, the last song that I'm gonna pick from the album as my number 2 spot is 01, the title song on the album.
Lost the plot and so I play it again. Needing a friend, needing an end, a creep to defend.
This song, it's just weird. It completely breaks the structure that a song is meant to have, and that's what makes it so great. And it has the best lyrics probably out of any songs on the album. I think it's the most unique ones. It's the one that doesn't really, it tells a story. It's not just about a single topic, it's about an actual person going through this journey and then, you know, finding this mask and becoming 01 and this entity. And it's just such a unique song, and I love listening to it. The final chorus of this song is my favorite part of the whole album. It chills me every single time.
Live for 1,000 lives, I'm ready to wake up. No sign below the surface.
And I love it. I can't get enough of this song. Again, sometimes I prefer Drunk over this one. I'm not quite sure which one is my favorite, but I think it's this one. But sometimes I end up listening to Drunk more, so I'm not sure. So before I get to number one, I want to talk about some honorable mentions. I have a lot of honorable mentions because I love every single song from the Living Tombstone. There's basically not a single song I don't like. There's like one or two in total. But before I get to the just the quick shots of the honorable mentions, I have two songs that I want to talk about real quick. The first one is It's Been So Long. It's the second Finals of Freddy song, and despite being a meme for a while last year, it's a really good song just on its own. It's actually probably my second favorite Finals of Freddy song.
It's been so long since I last have seen my soul lost to this monster.
It just feels so genuine, and it's the first song that Orko was part of, and he's just changed the Living Tombstone in so many ways, and I feel like that's really important, and I love this song. But yeah, it just barely makes the list. This would probably be my number 11, but I'm not doing number 11 just because that's stupid. Another song is the blue version of Squid Melody. I don't really listen to this much because again, that's the red version, which I prefer. But this one is like me and my partner's song, so it's more meaningful to me, and yeah, I just wanted to point that out.
I guess I need what I'm feeling when I'm right here. And my red colors makes the sadness disappear.
But that's just two songs that I wanted to quickly talk about, and now I just quickly want to go over a bunch of honorable mentions that are songs that I love and listen to constantly, and yeah, I don't have much else to say, so here you go.
Everyone makes mistakes. I've had more than my share.
Let me out. I hope you die in the fire.
We met again, but different from before.
Take a seat, young, and stay around for a spell. I got a little story that I wanted to tell. Now would you stick around, take a listen and see? 'Cause back in my day, things were as grand as can be. Lights out, eyes closed, day gone, stay home. You say my name and the world turns. Hold me in your arms and my heart burns like the sunlight.
He's adding, subtracting, he's also dividing us.
'Cause I don't know what sex is, so girl, show me the way. I don't know what the rules are. Octavia, why you still playing the cello? So mellow.
like after all this time, you should have known we'd be here tonight, wondering where the past has gone, all the memories we lost when we moved on.
Now, for number one, most people probably know which one this is gonna be. If you ever listen to the Living Tombstone, you probably listen to this song. It is extremely popular. It's all over the internet, it's all over TikTok, it's all over Spotify and Twitter and YouTube. And it's a great song, and it is, of course, My Ordinary Life.
They tell me keep it simple, I tell them take it slow. I feed it water and ideas, so I let it grow.
I know it's very predictable to just pick My Ordinary Life, but it really is just that good. It is basically a perfect piece of music. I have no gripes with it, like, at all. Like the other ones, if I had, I'm choosing to not really talk about negative stuff on this list, but I could nitpick the other songs, but this one I have no nitpicks. It really hits home with the topic, and I love how it sounds so happy, and it sounds like he's just bragging about all his accomplishment, but in reality it's about this person who's miserable. And I mean, the song ends in his suicide.
Touch me, Midas, make me part of your design. None to guide us, I feel fear for the very last time.
It makes you think it's about one thing while it's really about another, and I think that's so clever, and I love when songs do that. Also, it's just so unique. I mean, it's probably the only Living Tombstone that has a flute in it, and I don't know if there's another Living Tombstone song that has violin in it too. It's also the first song that Sam was in, so that's a pretty big deal, and it's the most popular song that Sam has, you know, made with Yoav. It's just a great song. I remember the exact moment it came out, and I just listened to it, and I instantly love it. I still love it just as much, if not more, than I did a couple of years ago.
It's still a real me, pop the champagne. It hurts me just to think, and I don't to pain.
Staying still, eyes closed, let the world just pass me by.
So, thank you for watching this video. This was just a ramble of me talking about something I'm very passionate about. And I'm just moving around a lot, I know, because I can't sit still. Even when I'm doing this, I just can't sit still. I need to constantly move. But thank you for watching it. If you don't know some of these songs, then I highly advise checking them out and listen to them, because they're good songs and they're great songs, and it's a great band. And remember to stream 01 on iTunes or Spotify, but I don't know, whatever.